Senator from Idaho.
Mr. President, I rise to speak today on the Nuclear Energy Innovation and Capabilities Act, or NECA. This measure is the result of a strong bipartisan partnership among many senators. Senator Whitehouse, Senator Risch, Senator Booker, Senator Hatch, Senator Murkowski, and Senator Durbin, along with myself. And a number of other senators have worked with us on this legislation. I want to give special thanks to Senator Whitehouse, who is here with us today. He's been my tireless partner in this effort. And thank you, Senator Whitehouse, for your hard work and the assistance of your staff. Sometimes even on the easiest of legislation, and this was not in that category, this is a critical, strong piece that has taken a lot of attention, but sometimes it just takes a lot of work and effort and time. And I appreciate Senator Whitehouse's efforts to stick with us as we and actually help move this ball forward as we have tried to get this across the finish line. I also want to say some very strong thanks to Senator Risch, who also deserves strong recognition for his tireless work to get this bill advanced. This is a Senate companion to a House measure of the very same name, introduced by Representatives Randy Weber, Eddie Bernice Johnson, and Lamar Smith. We've been working together to pass this legislation for some time, as I've indicated, and I'm eager to work with my House colleagues to ensure that NECA is enacted as soon as possible. We all recognize that innovation within the nuclear industry must continue and must build on American preeminence in nuclear research and development. Having grown up in Idaho Falls, Idaho, I'm a strong supporter of nuclear energy and the Idaho National Lab, which is a world leader in R&D and a key partner in sustaining our nation's commercial nuclear power sector. The INL has been home to more than 50 one-of-a-kind nuclear test reactors. It has led innovation after innovation and breakthrough after breakthrough. The imagination, ingenuity, and hard work of the scientists at the lab, along with the scientists at Argonne and Oak Ridge, ensure the United States remains the leader in development and commercialization of nuclear power. Today, many in the industry are focusing on what it takes to keep the current fleet of reactors alive and operational. Industry leaders are worried about the waste issues, the economics of operation, and navigating the requirements of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Understandably, many are not focused on the future of nuclear power and what lies beyond the current generation of reactors. Congress must find a way to help industry deal with the very real challenges that the current fleet faces. Congress must address the waste issue, and we must evaluate the costs and benefits of regulations that the government has placed on this industry. Many of the burdens on the nuclear industry are government-created, and so they must be government-solved. I look forward to working with my colleagues on the Environment and Public Works Committee to provide sound solutions. Congress can't ignore the challenges of the current fleet, but we must not allow these challenges to keep us from looking forward. The nuclear power industry in America is, for better or worse, increasingly paralyzed by government red tape. Congress must lead in focusing government agencies toward preparing for the next generation of nuclear reactors. We should create an environment in which industry can grow and advance. If we don't, we will lose to foreign competitors as companies take their technologies and business overseas. This is happening already. Companies are increasingly going to places like China, Russia, South Korea, and India. These countries want to export nuclear technology and are investing heavily toward that goal. If we continue down our current path, these countries will take the lead in setting the rules on proliferation and safety in the advanced nuclear industry. I would prefer that America continue to lead in this area. The Senate version of NECA does 4 very important things to encourage innovation in advanced nuclear power. 1, it directs the Department of Energy to carry out a modeling and simulation program that aids in the development of new reactor technologies. This is an important first step in allowing the private sector to have access to the capabilities of our national laboratories to test reactor designs and concepts. 2, it requires the Department of Energy to report its plan to establish a user facility for a versatile reactor-based fast neutron source. This is a critical step that will allow private companies the ability to test principles of nuclear science and prove the science behind their work. 3, NECA directs the Department of Energy to carry out a program to enable the testing and demonstration of reactor concepts proposed and funded by the private sector. This site is to be called the National Nuclear Innovation Center, and it will function as a database to store and share knowledge on nuclear science between federal agencies and the private sector. The Senate version of NECA encourages the Department of Energy and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission to work together in this effort. We would like to see the Department of Energy lead the effort to establish and operate the National Nuclear Innovation Center while consulting with the NRC regarding safety issues. We would also like the NRC to have access to the work done by the center in order to provide its staff with the knowledge it will need to eventually license any new reactors coming out of the center. If these reactors are ever to get to the market, the NRC must be able to understand the ins and outs of the science and work behind their development. The NRC needs the data in order to make data-driven licensing requirements. Number 4, finally, it requires the NRC to report on its ability to license advanced reactors within 4 years of receiving an application. The NRC must explain any institutional or organizational barriers it faces in moving forward with the licensing of advanced reactors. NECA is an important step in maintaining the United States leadership in nuclear energy. It will enable the private sector and our national labs to work together to create cutting-edge achievements in nuclear science. NECA encourages the smartest, most innovative, and creative minds in nuclear science to partner together to move the industry forward. This is a very exciting piece of legislation, and I look forward to working with my congressional colleagues to help the American nuclear energy thrive today and prepare for the future. With that, thank you, Mr. President. I yield my time.
Mr. President.